Primary consumers of Hollywood cinema is predominantly men. Men watch and support Hollywood industry. So when it comes to female lead movies based on Hollywood's history, those movies have been of low quality, and therefore such movies lack interest from the primary consumers of cinema.
And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
My rug! You puked on my rug!
Men generally do not attend cinemas where female characters take the lead. Like I said, those kind of movies have always disappointed us. That's why you have directors like Elizabeth Banks blaming men for her female lead spy movie bombing in theaters.
My real plea is for men to have enough empathy to go see movies starring women. Because I've been asked to go see movies starring men my entire life, and happily have done so. And I don't know why men don't return the fucking favor.
The MCU machine and its success is actually a formula, a pattern, a certain route map that guarantees success at the box office. Diversity token characters and token female strong woman characters in a primarily male white cisgender lead movies. The idea is to increase audience participation from different backgrounds, ethnicity, sex, creed, or geographical locations. Now, if you've been watching the MCU projects, you would find something interesting about the earlier MCU projects. They were all male-centric projects with white men on the lead.
This usually works.
Well, performance issues, it's not uncommon. 1 out of 5.
None of the projects had female leads or black or people of color or LGBTQ+. They were all white men in the lead projects. That was the Marvel success formula. Let's look into Marvel's history, the MCU history, to find success patterns. Let's start with Iron Man back in 2008. The movie was about a white man, a spoiled middle-aged white genius billionaire who made all his fortunes through selling weapons to the US military and leeching off the military-industrial complex. Tony learned his mistakes, understood he and his company were profiting off of the war in the Middle East, and dude decided to become a white savior. Now, of course, he had a token black friend from the military who was part of his awakening as a hero. Rhodey was nothing but a token black friend Tony had to have.
Damn. Next time, baby.
There wasn't a next time.
The film also had Pepper Potts, a white woman, secretary of the white male lead. She was also sleeping with him, a very problematic behavior in today's world, where a man in power is seen as somebody who is using his privileged power position to sleep with a woman who's seen as somebody who works under him. The entire team of Iron Man movie are lucky this movie came out before the Great Woke Awakening of 2017, when the Me Too moment caught up with our modern Hollywood, where virtue signaling and left-wing woke ideologies dominate the culture. Robert Downey Jr. would have been canceled with Tony Stark and his problematic performance of playing a black man in Tropic Thunder.
I don't believe you people.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
He's lucky Jamie Foxx supported his performance openly in Joe Rogan's podcast. The first Iron Man movie made around $600 million with a budget of $140 million. The movie was a huge success. That movie was the safest bet that Marvel Studios took back in 2008, a white male lead with sci-fi superhero elements.
Where do all these guys come from?
The very next movie was Incredible Hulk, with another white male hero playing a super genius scientist who was experimented on as a child and has anger issues.
What the hell?
Again, that movie had another white savior, or in this case, a green savior, who's destined to snap his fingers 10 years into the future. In that MCU project, there was no token black friend. Bruce Banner had a lover who was his co-worker. Now, this movie didn't work well at the box office. The movie made only around $250 million with a budget of around $150 million.
And Hulk. Smash.
You could argue that the movie didn't make $500 million like Iron Man because the movie scurried away from having token diversity characters. Iron Man 2 came out in 2010. The movie was about Tony Stark fighting his dad's friend's son who deserved a piece of Stark Enterprises. My dude came from Russia to kill Tony Stark and embarrass his. Wait a second, what even was the villain's entire purpose here? We'd never know fully because the movie did a poor job at fleshing out the villain. However, the sequel to Iron Man 1 made $600 million this time around because the movie had a black supporting character and a strong female character in the form of Scarlett Johansson.
When we arrive, I need you to watch the perimeter of the facility and take down the target. Watch the road.
I got it.
I want one.
No.
Oh boy, was she hot in the movie. Black Widow was a bombshell in the film. I've never known any other woman to be so hot, ever. Anyways, due to all the diversity characters, that movie made more than $500 million.
I told you I don't want to join your super secret boy band.
Thor came out in 2011. The film had one diversity hire in the shape of Idris Elba, who played Heimdall, a strong black man diversity hire. The movie didn't have a strong female character, but it did have a super genius white woman token character who found alien Thor and fell in love with him. Now Thor made close to $450 million on a budget of $150 million. The formula here was about a white male spoiled character who'd find himself and become good through his journey being away from his home. The formula was same as Iron Man 1, where Tony had to find the hero in himself. Thor had to become good through his journey of self-discovery.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
The next project was Captain America Part 1 with Chris Evans on the lead, a movie about again a white man who wants to stop Hydra, a Nazi-inspired supervillain hate group, from taking over the world. The movie followed Steve Rogers from gaining super soldier serum to sacrificing himself for America. Dude became Captain America, an enhanced white savior who isn't a good soldier but a good man.
He's still skinny.
The movie didn't have black supporting characters, but it did have strong female character who'd beat all the men in a conflict, a strong female character as Captain America's love interest. This movie made around $370 million on a budget of $200 million. The film didn't have the tight and strong MCU success formula yet.
You just don't know when to give up, do you?
I can do this all day.
The Avengers movie changed the superhero genre and Hollywood cinema altogether. The movie made around $1.5 billion on a budget of $200 million. This movie had the classic Marvel formula of a strong token black male character in the form of Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson. The movie did have a strong female character, but the movie brought together a group of remarkable people to fight the battles that ordinary actors could never: Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, Hulk, and Iron Man. Oh, and yes, Hawkeye came around too, but he had no powers, and he isn't as hot as Scarlett Johansson, so I'm gonna ignore him. This movie had the Marvel formula of witty and sarcastic characters from different backgrounds coming together to stop a big bad evil man. Loki carried the entire movie. His motivation carried the entire narrative.
I am a god, you dull creature!
Iron Man 3 didn't have a strong female character, but it did bring back strong black token male character in the form of War Machine. The movie made $1 billion because of how successful the Avengers movie was. Iron Man 3 rode the cocktail success of the movie that came before it.
I'm sorry, kid. You did good.
So now you're just gonna leave me here, like my dad?
Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World, or Thor 2, didn't cross $700 million at the box office even after having a token black character in the form of Idris Elba. Because Iron Man 3 was terrible and people lost interest in the MCU, Captain America: The Winter Soldier rejuvenated the soul of MCU with a new blend of genre filmmaking, adding the spy genre to superhero cinema.
How do we know the good guys from the bad guys? If they're shooting at you, they're bad.
The film had Captain America with his token black sidekick and diversity higher female sidekick, a perfect Marvel Hollywood success formula. The film worked not only because of the MCU formula of good guy wants to stop bad guys from destroying peaceful world, but also Hollywood diversity formula to bring in diverse audience members. Captain America 2 would go on to become a cult classic movie, and every Marvel movie henceforth shall try to replicate this movie's success and its formula.
Don't say it! Don't you say it! Left. Come on!
Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1 brought together a group of diverse token characters in a predominantly white and male-centric story. Zoe Saldana, a half-black, half-South American actress, would play Gamora. Chris Pratt would play a sarcastic, edgy white male spoiled hero who would find his path through a journey of self-discovery like Tony Stark and Thor did in their origin stories.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
Who?
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
The film also has a black male presence in the form of supporting characters. Guardians Part 1 made around $700 million with a budget of just $200 million. The formula here was mindless, lighthearted comedy ever so present in all MCU movies today, along with diverse heroes with mommy and daddy issues.
You alienated my favorite daughter, Gamora.
Thanks, Dad.
Heroes who want to stop strong male villain who thinks he's superior to others, who'd like to take over the world or at least transform it into their likeness. The movie, of course, had a semi-strong female character, but not a Mary Sue, at least not yet.
Great question. Duh.
Avengers, Age of Ultron, again had Nick Fury and even War Machine, along with all the other familiar faces, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, and this time we have a new female character, Scarlet Witch. This character would go on to become an unstable, strong Mary Sue of a female lead, stronger than Thor or anybody else. The film made around $1.4 billion on a budget of $500 million. Ant-Man Part 1 simply repeated the MCU formula from Iron Man 1. A smart and witty white male lead finds his way of becoming a hero through a journey of self-discovery. Dude spends time in prison for hacking into a company and sharing their money to people who deserved it. The film followed the same MCU formula. Good guy has to fight bad guy with similar powers. Bad guy wants to take over the world, but good guy wants to stop him by killing him. The very same MCU formula. The white male lead even had diverse sidekicks, a strong female character as his buddy. Luis and Ant-Woman, or the Wasp, whatever you want to call them. Ant-Man made around $500 million with a budget of $160 million.
Hey, how's your girl, man?
She left me.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom died too. And my dad got deported. But I got the van.
It's nice.
Yeah, right?
Captain America, Civil War had all our heroes fighting each other because DC tried to set up Batman v Superman. Kevin Feige and team decided to separate the Avengers to take spotlight away from DCU and Zack Snyder. However, Batman v Superman turned out to be the turd that would destroy all of DCU. At the same time, Captain America Civil War was an awesome time at the cinemas. The film had strong diversity hires in the form of Falcon and War Machine. The film had female lead Scarlet Witch and Black Widow. Captain America even made out with Peggy Carter's niece. The formula here was the same as Batman v Superman. Bad guy wants to separate our beloved heroes, and bad guy wants the heroes to destroy each other from the inside. Captain America 3 made $1 billion on a budget of $250 million. Now Captain America 3 was very similar to any Avengers film with so many Marvel characters showing up, including the new MCU Spider-Man. The film also had Black Panther, an African superhero. Strong black characters. There were strong black female characters as well, part of the entire Wakanda sector of the MCU.
Move, or you will be moved.
As entertaining as that would be.
Doctor Strange had another self-obsessed rich white male character who'd find himself through his journey throughout the film. He'd go from a self-obsessed selfish man to a very selfless hero. The very same as Tony Stark in Iron Man 1. The film also had another black token sidekick and token Asian sidekick. The film replaced a Tibetan female character from the comics to a white American woman due to the potential conflict with the CCP Chinese government.
And look, those words were very direct. He said that anyone who sought to oppress or bully China would have their heads bashed bloodily against a great wall of steel.
Remember when Tibet was invaded and taken over by the Chinese Communist Party? You me neither. I love my life. Have no beef with the CCP China. Anyways, this movie didn't have many diversity characters and the classic Marvel formula of good white savior with diverse sidekicks. The same formula that's worked so well for the MCU. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The movie made $670 million on a budget of $230 million. Benedict Cucumber was a lot of fun to watch.
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 repeated its previous formula and worked just fine. That movie felt the exact same as the first one from James Gunn, and the film made as much as the first one. This movie was no different.
Tell me you guys have a refrigerator somewhere with a bunch of severed human toes. Okay, then let's just agree to never discuss this.
Spider-Man: Homecoming was the first MCU solo Spider-Man movie, starring Tom Holland as Peter Parker. The film felt like a Harry Potter coming-of-age movie. Peter Parker and his two best friends, MJ and Ned. Three best friends and villain being a Tony Stark-influenced character. The film was no different from the other Spider-Man movies. Tom Holland was the best of both worlds. Tobey Maguire was a good Peter Parker but not a great Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man but was too cool for Peter Parker.
What happened to your face? It's filthy.
Oh yeah, I was cleaning the chimney.
We have no chimney.
What?
Tom Holland, on the other hand, shared the best elements from both, being a good Spider-Man and a good Peter Parker. The film made $800 million on a budget of $175 million. The formula was the same as all other Spider-Man movies. Good guy Spider-Man wants to save the day and get the girl. That's it, nothing more. And also keep Tony Stark away from his hot aunt.
Hey, May. How you doing? What are you wearing? Something skimpy, I hope. Forget that's inappropriate. All right, let's start over.
Thor: Ragnarok brought in a new wave energy for Thor movies. The film took heavy inspirations from Guardians of the Galaxy movies and stretched it to the max. Taika Waititi made Thor into a goofy clown like Star-Lord. Thor no longer made serious speeches or had serious problems. I mean, he did, but that was sprinkled with jokes and light-hearted comedy. Thor literally loses everything in this movie, but he still smiles and laughs at the end of the movie, him and Loki. It made no sense, but the movie was so much fun and so different from the other Thor movies that I was okay with the sudden change. It was new, it was fresh. It worked. The movie had a strong female diverse woman in supporting lead. She was an alcoholic drunkard who joined Thor on his space adventure to kill his super powerful sister that he had no idea was a thing. Hela was unstable and her performance by Cate Blanchett was impeccable. Idris Elba played his part well as a token black sidekick with no real character arc other than being a part of the ensemble. The movie also had Hulk in the mix, which was a delight to see Thor and Hulk fight it out with each other and Thor coming out on top. It was great. Thor 3 made around $900 million with great critical reviews on a budget of $180 million. The MCU formula worked well on this one.
Hey, let's do Get Help.
No.
Come on, you love it.
I hate it.
It's great. It works every time.
It's humiliating.
Do you have a better plan?
No.
We're doing it.
We are not doing Get Help.
Get help! Please! My brother's dying! Get help! Help him!
Black Panther Part 1 was the first all-black lead movie, a very different attempt from Marvel and Disney to diversify its audience, to tap into the African-American movie market around the globe, and it worked because Marvel had already introduced T'Challa and the Black Panther in the Captain America Civil War. Audiences already had a taste of him and wanted even more. Black Panther had the very same story as The Lion King. The movie started with T'Challa's father dying in Captain America 3 and him having to take over as king. Dude had to fight another man who claimed the throne.
One more word, and I will feed you to my children. I'm kidding, we are vegetarians.
Dude won the battle and later had to fight an evil version of himself in Michael B. Jordan's form. Bro had to fight his cousin to become king again. Classic royal family drama. The film did have a white man in it, with a smaller role. The film was completely occupied by black talent behind and in front of camera, one of the first movies to have changed the MCU formula.
Black Panther director Ryan Coogler handcuffed by police after being mistaken for a robber at an Atlanta bank.
Having people of color at the forefront unlike before, the movie also had women of color at the forefront, from casual love interest to black African warriors, all women. The movie came a year after DC's Wonder Woman, which also had women at the forefront. Seems like Kevin Feige and Disney took a page out of DC's playbook once again after having done their own Batman v Superman. The Black Panther Part 1 made $1.3 billion worldwide with a budget of $200 million, the movie that would define all future Hollywood movies, having proven the power of African-American consumer at the cinemas. The very next movie on the roster was The Behemoth with an ensemble of diverse characters and heroes Avengers. Infinity War, the movie had the Wakandans, African-American actors along with other Marvel characters. A long list of diverse actors. The movie broke all records and becoming the highest-grossing Marvel movie till date back in 2018. Now again, the film had the classic MCU formula.
What master do you serve? What master do I serve? What am I supposed to say, Jesus?
The villain who wants to destroy our world as we know it, a very common goal similar to the ones that the United Nations or Bill Gates has, to reduce the population. Thanos believed the resources on each planet was limited, and so we have to drastically reduce population across our universe, which is exactly what he did by snapping his fingers. Our heroes lost their loved ones and half the living population of Earth. Avengers Infinity War was an excellent movie constructed meticulously to deliver a once-in-a-lifetime cinema experience. The movie, like all good movies, was driven by the villain and his ambition. The heroes could only react to the villain's evil plans. Infinity War made around $2 billion worldwide with a budget of $400 million, one of the finest cinema experiences, with a diverse group of main characters. From African black characters to Asian characters, this movie, unlike other MCU movies, had an anticlimactic ending, where our heroes lost to the big bad. This made the movie very special and unique cinema experience. Marvel also teased a sequel to Infinity War. They also teased Captain Marvel solo movie.
How long will you play Captain Marvel for?
I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again?
Oh, no.
Ant-Man 2 was a filler movie made to show how Ant-Man survived Infinity War and later saved the entire world using his time travel technology. Ant-Man 2 made around $600 million on a $200 million budget. The film had diverse cast members, black, South American, no Asian characters. Captain Marvel was teased in Infinity War as a main character, as an unmissable event movie that would set up the sequel to Avengers Infinity War. The film had diverse cast members. 2 African American cast members, including a small African American child. The movie also teased the introduction of the Skrulls.
Can Captain Marvel beat Superman? I can't believe you have to Google that, duh.
The shape-shifting aliens who had a huge role in the Secret Wars comics. Captain Marvel movie grossed $1.1 billion on a $175 million budget. The film had a diverse cast and was set up by Avengers Infinity War and was sandwiched between Infinity War and Endgame. People thought they had to watch Captain Marvel so they don't miss out of any MCU lore. Unfortunately, the movie was shit and just another filler movie like Ant-Man 2. Garbage content from Marvel Studios. Disney made Captain Marvel because DC had already made a female-centric film that worked and grossed $800 million at the worldwide box office. They didn't want to be accused of misogyny and sexism, so they had to set up Captain Marvel as a powerful feminine character who'd rival Superman from DC movies or even Wonder Woman. You see, Marvel Studios and Disney never believed a female lead action movie could gross huge box office results compared to male-led films. They didn't trust their own filmmakers or the audience to show up in theaters, but the success of Wonder Woman surprised Disney as well as the film industry.
How did this happen?
That female-led projects could in fact put up a fight at the box office department. This movie, along with the historic success of sequel Star Wars movies, proved that female-led action movies are worthy of the cinemas. Now Marvel Studios didn't want to be attacked for not producing enough female lead or other left-wing minority-led projects, black-led, gay-led, or any other project. So from here on, Disney wanted the MCU to represent diverse characters and stories front and center. Avengers Endgame had a feminist, girl power, cringe female assemble scene that shocked me to my core.
Very clear.
Hey, Professor!
Step back, I think I'm gonna vomit!
I've never seen such trash writing or screenplay. It was terrible and done on purpose because Disney is a publicly traded company. Having such girl power moments could only help the company politically and financially. Virtue signaling is an important trait in modern Hollywood. Avengers Endgame also had a diverse set of characters and heroes. The film broke all records, becoming the highest grossing film of all time. Audiences from all major terms, blacks, whites, women, men, Asians, Russians, Africans, all demographics including children showed up to celebrate the end of the Infinity Saga.
Are you crying? No. Yes.
Movies that came after Endgame, almost none of them really impressed the audience. Spider-Man Far From Home made $1 billion at the box office, but even Iron Man 3 made that kind of money. It was just Avengers movie hangover. The audiences didn't want to miss out on the next big thing in MCU, but that movie was a complete disappointment. The film had a diverse cast members, yet the story and screenplay sucked. It was boring regular MCU flick. Mysterio was a mid-villain with no powers.
Excuse me, sir! I can help! Let me help! I'm really strong and I'm sticky!
Black Widow solo movie bombed, barely cracking $300 million. The film didn't have major diverse characters, no major black names, no major Asian names, only white actors. It made sense along with that the film had terrible writing, so obviously the movie bombed.
Why do you guys do that thing?
Do what?
This thing that you do when you whip your hair when you're fighting. It's a fighting pose. You're a total poser.
I'm not a poser.
Such a poser.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings broke $400 million worldwide. The film had an all-new Asian-led cast, was banned in China for obvious reasons. The Chinese government wouldn't allow Hollywood to take over their movie market with American Asian actors. The film had unique features and had cameos like Wong and Abomination. The film was watchable, though unlike Black Panther, the movie didn't make $1 billion. I'd blame that on marketing. It didn't feel like an event movie or once-in-a-lifetime movie. With better marketing, the movie could have broken records.
Every single thing in it is mid! Mid! Mid!
Eternals had a wide cast, black, white, Asian, Pakistani, white, all major demographics, yet the film bombed to terrible writing and story, just pure nonsensical plot, bad acting, trash movie. Marvel tried girl power and feminist female lead nonsense, but even that didn't connect with audiences.
Oh hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Spider-Man: No Way Home had enough diversity in cast, including having big names like Zendaya and Jamie Foxx. The movie also brought back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Here's your web cartridges.
Oh, thanks, man. What's that for?
It's my web fluid. It's for my web shooters. Why?
Whoa! That came out of you.
Yeah. You can't do that, huh?
No?
How on earth does that?
It was a once-in-a-lifetime event movie, like the first Avengers movie or Avengers Endgame. Spider-Man 3 was a must-watch event movie that couldn't be missed. The film grossed $2 billion worldwide on a budget of $200 million, one of the first Marvel non-Avengers movies to gross $2 billion. The movie's success, like I said, had multiple factors from casting to nostalgia. The feeling of missing out played a huge part too. The movie also seemed like a spiritual sequel to the animated Spider-Man movie. That animated movie Spider-Verse was a huge success on Netflix. Along with the old Spider-Man returning and Sony and Marvel keeping all the goodies as a surprise for theatrical experience led audiences to flock towards the cinemas. It was like the first Star Wars sequel movie, where parents bought their children to relive their childhood memories. Nostalgia worked well, similar to all those Disney live-action movies.
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Spider-Man 3 also led to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where Strange tried to play with the multiverse. Wanda returned as a baddie for Doctor Strange right after her TV series WandaVision, along with Sam Raimi returned to horror genre, made audiences attend Doctor Strange 2. The movie also had diverse cast members, from Asian American actor to America Chavez, a Mexican MCU character, to Wong, to Black Captain Marvel and female Captain America. The film was disappointing to almost all of the audiences, but the movie still made $1 billion within a budget of $300 million. The movie was a spiritual spin-off of What If animated Disney Plus series, which again had huge viewership.
I mean, it's alright, like, overrated as fuck in my opinion. I mean,
Thor: Love and Thunder had all the ingredients to make a hugely successful movie. Bad Taika Waititi made a fool out of Thor. The diverse cast and all the marketing didn't help the movie critically, but the movie still made $700 million worldwide. Just like Black Panther 2 being a terrible movie, gaining immense box office numbers. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever and Thor 4 had feminist girl boss Mary Sue characters, with Shuri taking over as Black Panther without any training and Jane Foster becoming Lady Thor. Just gross, uneven storylines that nobody gave two shits for, terrible and gross.
I just heard it. I literally just heard it. I heard the whole thing in my trailer, and I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard. Everyone's laughing, by the way, but it's true because everybody's heard it too. Everyone heard it, right? They look at all, everyone's like, yeah, big piece of dog shit. Not even the hard, dried up dog shit for 7 days. It's the soft dog shit. It's like baby shit.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania had all those modern Marvel social justice elements like Girl Boss making a quantum technology like Tony Stark figuring out time travel.
Shit.
Along with the Wasp saving Ant-Man at every junction of the story, she saved him over and over again. She existed in the movie to save him like a princess, like a damsel in distress.
But I have to be rescued by my true love. Not by some ogre and his pet.
Well, so much for Noble Steve.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was another James Gunn ensemble movie like Suicide Squad or the other Guardians movies. The cast had a wide range of actors playing major characters, and the movie mainly advertised to teenagers and children. It was a movie about animal cruelty and slapstick comedy. Again advertised towards a younger audience, such movies have worked very well for James Gunn. The main lead is Chris Pratt, a white actor.
Ah!
Yes!
Oh my god! That's so hot! It was horrible! Oh, I'm going to die! I'm so tired! Everything hurts! Running is impossible!
Along with Zoe Saldana, a half-black, half-South American actress, the main baddie was a black actor. The film had huge draw similar to other Guardians movies. The film touched $1 billion at the box office department.
Oscar, show me sadness.
Aw, look, he's got a schnauzer. I love schnauzers. And his name is Oscar. It's really cute, Oscar. Oh. All right, come on, box office.
The very next Marvel movie is The Marvels, coming from director Nia DaCosta of the Candyman fame. Candyman was a mediocre horror movie produced by director Jordan Peele. Why did Marvel Studios hire this least qualified person for this major action movie? Who knows? At this point, it seems like Marvel and Disney no longer care to make quality cinema. They'd rather virtue signal as a studio who hired a new and upcoming female black director. They'd rather use that to gain goodwill from black audiences and idiots of Twitter who care about such silly virtue signaling.
Boring!
Marvel and Disney seems like they've lost the point. They've lost as to why Marvel and MCU movies were such big draws. The MCU provided quality entertainment at the same cost as an indie movie. MCU movies had all the elements that would satisfy an adult audience member and equally satisfy a younger child audience as well. That's how Kevin Feige and the others build the MCU machine.
Thank you so much for wasting my motherfucking time.
But today, with SJW, Disney, and all other activists who've taken over Marvel by their throats demanding diversity hires and more equitable filmmaking, Disney and Marvel have become a commonplace for activists to show others how woke they are compared to the rest of Hollywood. It's no longer about the old quality entertainment, but about how morally superior you could be through the art of filmmaking. No, there is nothing wrong with Marvel being politically proactive in order to groom young children to one side of the political spectrum, being pro-abortion, being pro-modern form of feminism, being pro-LGBTQ+ community, being pro-child trans surgeries, or whatever else the modern left in the USA would tolerate at the current time. It's okay if Disney and Marvel align themselves politically, but at the very same time they would be alienating individuals who are against children physically transitioning genders using hormone blockers or taking away the right to bear arms, right to own property, or the destruction of free speech. Most ordinary people are conservative by heart.
We have to make America great again.
And so through their selective political stances, Disney and Marvel would lose most ordinary people. And that would over time destroy not only the financial marketability of Marvel movies, but Disney has been hammering in politics into garbage Marvel movies, causing the quality of cinema to deteriorate, making MCU movies and MCU TV shows unwatchable. Talking about TV shows, because Disney Plus needed huge loads of content to start off. It seems like Disney ordered Marvel to cram out shows for the streaming platform, leading to the quality of the said shows to fall.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
When writers and filmmakers are ordered to create superhero TV series with low budget and very little time, it seems like writers resort to politics. Look at all the CW DC TV shows, Batwoman, Supergirl, or MCU's She-Hulk. All three of them resorted to cheap politics in order to boost viewership. Cramming in political taking points into TV series is one of the easiest ways to attract and engage audience members.
On my planet, females bow before males.
This is not your planet.
She's not strong enough.
Why? Because she's just a girl?
You know, I never really noticed Clark having to get his rage on.
Because he's a man. Girls are taught to smile and keep it on the inside.
Well, it's not like black men are encouraged to be angry in public.
Well, then this will work for both of us.
Supergirl was actually construction worker. What a hot mess. Look at that. This guy says, we came prepared.
We came prepared.
Immediately gets shot.
She-Hulk obviously used feminist female-centric cheap political lefty pandering in order to create chatter about the show online. Normal people started to talk about the show, how it was badly written and how the writers created a show to hate on men, and the never-ending patriarchy. She-Hulk writers on purpose created controversy in order to cook up clout for the show. Hate watching and hate reviews advertised the She-Hulk show for itself without Marvel spending a dime on advertisements. DC and HBO Max did the same with Mindy Kaling and Velma.
White people, Daphne. Just being a white guy with a clipboard doesn't cut it anymore. Fred's a rich white guy with a tiny dong. White girl with too much money. White girl with too much money.
The Scooby-Doo spin-off animated series, the show hated on men, especially white men, in order to create social media chatter, self-advertising. YouTubers and Twitter accounts had a field day at the release of such movies and shows. The new The Marvels movie starring Brie Larson and the other two MCU characters seems to be on either of two clubs. Number 1, it could be one of the wokest movies ever made, or number 2, it could be a self-aware comedy like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, a harmless film with no politics or wokery.
On top of all of this, am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not.
What a fucking am I right?
The director of the Marvels movie does not provide any sort of relief. Her only other directorial is a mediocre horror movie called Candyman with a lot of racial politics. I have no idea why Marvel and Disney would hire her to make their only female-led movie a movie that was supposed to be Captain Marvel 2, a direct sequel to Ms. Marvel and WandaVision. It makes no sense other than Disney ordering an attention-seeking cheap movie with gender politics and racial politics.
I am your guest host for the night, Brie Larson. So I went into his office, took off my bra, and drunk ordered a bunch of quilts on Etsy.
I just want everybody to know that I know what you did to me.
You honeypotted him. It's honeypot.
You honeypotted
You
me.
honeypotted him.
No, I didn't.
It's very offensive because basically if you think about what you're saying to me, you're saying because I'm a girl and because I'm attractive, my only use for this agency would be to manipulate men.
Another cheap attempt to self-advertise the film along with satisfying woke audience members for whom it seems like these MCU movies are made for nowadays. After the huge backlash from Captain Marvel Part 1, She-Hulk, and after the lowest viewership for Ms. Marvel TV series, you would think Disney and Marvel has learned their lesson. But no, even after big companies like Victoria's Secret step back from woke advertisement campaigns after sales fall, you would think a publicly traded company like Disney would change their ways. These cheap tactics and their terrible financial results aren't enough for Disney or Marvel. They'd rather die at this hill than change their ways in order to create quality content. Marvel and Disney's main formula was action comedy movies with diversity hires as sidekicks. White men used to be the main and central character. But after the gigantic success of Black Panther and Captain Marvel, it's become a prerogative for Disney to make movies about women or LGBTQ+ characters. For example, the new TV show, Loki. That show wasn't even about Loki, it was about Sylvie. Sylvie became the central character, sidelining Tom Hiddleston's Loki.
Are you having a laugh?
What?
You just said each member of the team is chosen for their unique abilities. He does exactly what I do, but better.
Moon Knight TV series turned out to be another superhero TV series about female superhero character. I don't even remember her name. That's how lame that character was. Yet she took up a lot of the screen time. The show had her save Moon Knight multiple times, very similar to how they used the Wasp in Ant-Man 3, where she turned up to save Ant-Man multiple times throughout the movie.
Going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be.
Disney's new woke formula happens to be about making male-named shows or movies where the entire film will turn out to be about a female-centric character taking up all the screen time. Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Hawkeye TV series, Werewolf by Night, or even the new Thunderbolts movie. Even the new Fantastic Four movie is supposed to be made from the perspective of the female lead. The new X-Men movie is supposed to drop the title and take up an inclusive name, the Mutants or X-Force, whatever.
I was always appalled by the blatant sexism in the group's name. X-Men? Men? The point is, our group will be forward-thinking. From now on, we'll be known as X-Force.
Go back to... Hold on a minute. Sir, can somebody help me?
Let's hope Disney and Marvel learns from a few more movies flopping at the box office that making movies with engaging content is more important than investing in woke filmmakers and pleasing woke lunatics on Twitter and other social media platforms. Go woke, go broke Disney.
It's gone. It's done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.